My name is Robert Smith. I'm a police constable dog handler with the British Transport Police, and my retired dog that I've still got is retired police dog Bruno. He's 10 years old now. He retired in November, so he was trained to find all military, commercial and homemade explosives. Bruno was one of the responders to the Westminster Bridge. We were late turn on the day. We were kind of aware that something was unfolding, but we didn't really know because news hadn't really filtered through. I remember driving through Whitehall and there was just loads of police and emergency services, and having a dog van, they just kept waving me past further forward. And when I got there was another police car that had just pulled up in front of us, my colleague Mark Sayer, with his dog Scooby. And that was when they told us that somebody had come across the bridge and then crashed the car into the side of Parliament itself, and then obviously what the assailant had gone on to do.
My dog at the time was a police dog, Kai, and I was a PC on the explosive detection dog unit. The initial call that came out to us was for a car had actually gone into Westminster Quay, and then within a couple of minutes it was shots fired, and then it was established that it was at Palace of Westminster. So we then made our way immediately to that area. And on arrival there was lots of things going on, lots of police officers, lots of firearms officers I remember. And they all came up to the van and they all wanted the dogs, realising there was explosive dogs. They wanted dogs everywhere to search, but then there was a PC that came round and he's above everybody else. He said, "I think there's a bomb in the car." So there was a bit of a silence, and that sort of took priority then really. And in his next breath he said, "There's people trapped under the car. So what do you do?" So I went straight round to the car. We needed to make sure that that was safe. There were so many people around the car and just around the corner from the car. We needed to get that safe. So I just set Kai for the car, to search the car. She searched it fantastically. She's 18 months old, not long out of training school. She searched completely around the outside of the car. She didn't take a blind bit of notice of the people that were under the car, the doctor that was under the car. There was officers under the car trying to help the doctor. She just searched the outside, and then we searched inside the car. Kai was just great, really good, really good, really proud of her.
It was quite surreal really, because there's vehicles abandoned all over the place. They were literally just stopped in situ, or if they'd swerved out the way and people had just left their vehicles and run. And of course, obviously as we're going across, there were obviously deceased people there that we had to go around. You know, but Bruno, he did his job, he did, thankfully. So.
The things that I'll remember forever, and talking to my colleagues, they will as well, it was the shock and terror on the faces of the people not knowing what was happening. When we'd pulled over at the side of the road, because we weren't allowed to go any further after the shots had been fired, we didn't have much more information than them. And then afterwards, seeing the people with their hands on their head and being that scared, I think that was something that you'll remember, because it was just, it was terror, and you could see it in their eyes.
So Jax at the time was just coming up to 6-year-old Belgian Malinois, and he's trained as a general purpose police dog. So myself and the guys that came with me, had just showed up for our night turn, and the call had come out about 20 minutes into our shift, and for us it had come out as a gang fight. When we hit the land side of the south bank, there was 2 guys that were led out on the floor who I think had been run over. And I think then you realise, oh, you know, this is a bit different than what the call came out of.
Bobby's an explosive search dog, so we've been together as a team for approximately 4.5 years. On the night of the attack at London Bridge, we'd already been working all day. I can only describe it in my words as a war zone, to be honest with you. Bodies were still in situ, there were still injured people on scene, and a lot of the emergency services hadn't made it to the scene by this point. So our main role to begin with was, once we have got the area contained, we have to get all the civilians out, but we don't know who these civilians are. So it was then my job to corral the people, and we then body scan them, make them drop the property, bodies, because there could be a device there, and we then spent the rest of the night actually entering all the buildings, searching all the area. We was on duty for about 23 hours altogether, and it was non-stop, in a very, heightened, emotional type of environment. He never showed any signs of weakness, and I've got to say he was absolutely magnificent. That's the best word I can use for him on the night. I was in awe of him. Yeah. Quite emotional thinking about him now. You silly old dog, aren't you? Hey?
Marcy is a German Shepherd, Belgian Malinois cross. He's a general purpose police dog, and he's also a firearm support dog. We rushed to Borough Market, and there was a lot of injured people on the way. You could almost see like a trail of destruction from London Bridge down to Borough Market. And then we heard more gunfire, and we were told that they'd shot the suspects, but they had suicide vests on. So we were sort of taking cover. Then we had a report that people were seen running into an office building. So we went into the office building, and we were sending Marcy to clear the floors ahead of us. And then he did indicate that he'd found someone, but it was people that were fleeing. Yeah, and it's hard because you've got a job to do, but you're sending him forward, and you're thinking, if he finds someone, what's going to happen? He might not come back, but he had a job to do, and he just kept working. He didn't stop. So yeah, it's hard, but I was very proud of him.
There were 7 dogs there, so then there were 7 armed groups then, and there was a dog with each group, dog allocated to each group so that the good dog could go with them. So Kai was on one of those sticks, as they call them, and we searched all around where the vehicle hit the pub. But again, she was fantastic. I couldn't ask for anything more from her, really. She did what she had to do. She wasn't fazed by anything that was going on. There was bangs and shouts and people running around with big guns and helmets and covered up and bodies lying around everywhere. She wasn't bothered. She just did what she had to do. So I'm really very proud of her. Yeah, definitely.
It was chaos. There were people running around screaming, crying, shouting, panicking, there was just people running towards us, trying to get away from whatever had gone on. And we were obviously going the other way. I obviously knew the context of the call in which I was expecting her to go and work in. She carried on as well as she always has done. She just kept doing exactly what I asked her to do, cleared the areas I asked her to do, came back to me. Everything we were asked to do by the firearms teams we were able to do, and I was confident to do it because I know of Delta's capabilities. So she almost calmed me down because she just carried on as normal, whereas I knew pretty much what was going on.
I feel extremely proud of all the dogs that were involved in that and Westminster. I think the PDSA Order of Merit is held in such high esteem from working dogs in whatever sector they do. For them to have worked in environments that are not day-to-day and under pressure, and to be asked to constantly do that time and time again, I think anyone within our dog section should be extremely proud of the dogs.
I was very proud that Marcy's getting a PDSA Order of Merit. It's good. It's nice that dogs get recognised because they are an essential part of fighting, you know, the war against terror and in just normal crime, and they don't always get recognised. So it's very nice that we're getting this award.
Very proud as a handler, and it's recognition of what these dogs do really on a daily basis, and these type of incidents get the headlines, but day in, day out there's dogs out there doing fantastic work, and I think it's great that it's very humbling actually that they recognise it as well.
I feel very proud that they're being honoured, the dogs. We know how they work and what they can do and how they achieve it, but I think we take it for granted, so to have it recognised from somebody else is an honour.